Fat loss is one of the most desired things in the world, especially if you're a young man. It's actually quite simple to get shredded, but yet it's so hard because there's millions of trash videos online. And I'm going to teach you how to look like this to this. And I want you to trust this as a full guide for fat loss. Now, pay attention. You want to put the emphasis on losing fat and not weight. You can still lose weight and look skinny fat, but you can lose fat and gain muscle. So we're going to focus on losing fat, purely for the aesthetic purposes. Step number 1 is called intermittent fasting, and that's basically just a fancy word for delaying when you eat your food. So instead of eating right when you wake up, you can do something like this, for example. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day and I eat my first meal at 12 p.m. and I have my meals somewhat close together so I feel full, and have my last meal at 5 p.m. I have a 5-hour window to get all my food in, but you can really go up to an 8-hour window. And it's a lot easier to eat less food when you only have a specific amount of time to eat your food. Now, the meat and bones of fat loss is being in a caloric deficit. And a lot of people struggle with this because it's actually quite hard. But to make this a little bit easier is by shortening your eating window, like we talked about in step 1. And it's way easier to eat no food in a certain amount of time than it is to eat only a little bit of food. And to make a caloric deficit really easy to understand, think about it like this. If a man burns 2,500 calories per day but eats 3,000, he will gain weight. And if he eats 2,000 calories per day, he will lose weight. So just try taking out the sweets that you eat out of your diet every day, and you'll probably already take 300 to 500 calories out of your diet. The amount of calories to deficit from your diet is around 500 because you don't feel like you're dying, but it's also a substantial enough amount to where you can see results relatively soon. The third step is actually quite cool. Imagine if you could lose fat while doing nothing or while you're asleep. Well, good news, because it's actually possible, and I'll show you how it works. When you gain muscle, your metabolic rate actually increases, and that just means how many calories your body burns per day. And I recommend doing hypertrophy and progressive overload in your weightlifting workouts because that will give you the best results for muscle growth. I'll link some YouTubers in the description that I recommend. Exercise is probably the hardest part of fat loss, but you don't need to run 5 miles a day. Here's what I did. So you want to walk 5,000 to 10,000 steps per day, and you can use the health app on your iPhone so you can track how many steps you take. And it takes around an hour to do 5,000 steps, so I do 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the nighttime. And this is great because it doesn't really feel that much like exercising, and it feels pretty relaxing. You can listen to some music if you want, and if you want to be uber productive, you can listen to an educational podcast at the exact same time. If you follow all the steps in the video and have some discipline, you are guaranteed to get leaner, bro. So just have some discipline, do that, and do the hard work. And also stay tuned because I'm going to be coming out with a video on how to build an athletic body at home. All right, see you later.